Greetings, I'm Hoodie Angel Brandon. You may have noticed by now that I really love amiibo. In fact, maybe a little too much. But that's okay, because it's love. Love can't ever be bad, right? Anyway, I wanted to explain just why I love these things so much.
To understand fully just why I love amiibo, first we must go back to my childhood with Super Smash Bros. Melee. At the time, I only knew a few of the characters here. Link, Zelda, Mario, Bowser, Pikachu, Donkey Kong. But it would serve as my first introduction to many classic Nintendo icons. That's a story for another time though. For now, what's important were the in-game trophies. These were what kept me coming back to the game. They were just really cool. I spent tons of time clearing the game, events, and getting coins to try to get these. Even back then I had a problem with collecting things. While I never ended up collecting them all in Melee, I did eventually fulfill that dream in Smash for the 3DS. But, as cool as they were in-game, I always thought about how much cooler it would be to have them in real life. Back then, I was just a kid, so I didn't have any money, not to mention just how hard it was to find merch for things I liked. At the time, the best I managed was a Link action figure that I've since lost, and this creepy Pez dispenser. Alas, it was a dream that would have to be shelved for over a decade.
Amiibo!
Enter Amiibo. Nintendo had somehow heard my silent prayers and answered. At long last, I could have a unified collection of some of Nintendo's greatest characters in figure form, a collection worthy of the ones found in Smash. In terms of figure quality, they're actually pretty good. Not quite perfect, but pretty close. Unfortunately, some of the more detailed ones are prone to minor paint splotches and other errors, such as a Mario I once found that was missing the M on his hat. In general though, these errors tend to be negligible. A little paint splotch likely won't even be visible unless you're looking at them up close. Displayed from a distance, I can't see them even though I know they're there. A slightly larger problem is with characters' swords, which are often a bit bent out of shape, though this is fixable. Also, some of the early amiibo for characters with more realistic proportions, like Fire Emblem characters, the faces were a bit ugly. They've since improved quite a bit though. For example, I just adore the young Link amiibo. He looks so dang good. I really love how most amiibo have a consistently sized base, and ones from various series have matching bases. It makes the collection feel more unified. And for the Smash series, the fact the base has the same gold Smash emblem the in-game trophies have is an awesome tie-in. And the Smash line even recreates the poses for the trophies in Smash 4. These are the trophies I always wanted. Unfortunately, to recreate some of these dynamic poses, support stands had to be used for many of them, as well as some of the non-Smash amiibo, just to keep them stable. These tend to be pretty ugly and detract from the figures themselves. Particularly, this unfortunately colored and placed one on the Smash Link amiibo, which has become the butt of many jokes. In fact, amiibo are generally pretty sturdy. I've dropped them numerous times because I'm a klutz, and they're perfectly fine. That even goes for the ones that don't have the ugly supports. While I love and prefer the standard trophy-like amiibo, Nintendo's gotten creative with things like the Yarn Yoshi. In addition, others have some fun gimmicks, like the posable Guardian, glow-in-the-dark Boo, Animal Crossing cards, and the squishy Metroid. These special ones tend to be a bit more expensive, but like the standard ones, they tend to be reasonably priced, which is another great thing about them. Amiibo are pretty reasonably priced for their figure quality. being about $14 at MSRP for the standard ones, and slightly more for some of the special ones. While they aren't as impressive in terms of quality as some figures like Nendoroid or Figma, they're also much cheaper, making them much more accessible to the average person, particularly those capable of buying just one or two and not going overboard like me. In addition, there's one more perk these figures have over their more expensive cousins: in-game functionality. Amiibo can be scanned into various games thanks to an NFC chip embedded in the base of the figure. Admittedly, the functionality is lacking in most cases, usually just getting extra in-game items, power-ups, or some costumes. Rarely, it'll be something more interesting or useful, like Smash's Amiibo training, or the Animal Crossing card Amiibo letting you add corresponding villager to your town. But I consider all this an extra being thrown in with a cool figure. Further, having a wide variety of figures increases the odds you'll have one compatible with newer games, as unlike other Toys to Life series like Skylanders and Disney Infinity, Amiibo aren't tied to one specific game, but instead various ones work with a variety of titles. This means when I buy one Amiibo, it may work with 3 or more different games. It's like I'm buying DLC once that can do some minor things in many games in the future, which is just pretty cool. It makes it feel like a long-term investment. With so many to collect from so many different games, there's a character for just about anyone's tastes. Even if it's not your number one favorite, you can probably find someone you like. It's also extremely satisfying to complete a collection you've got your eye on, just like their Smash Trophy counterparts. While these are primarily Nintendo characters, there are some other icons of gaming, like Sonic, Mega Man, Ryu, Pac-Man, and Cloud, thanks to the Smash connection. But we've also seen figures for other third-party characters, with the Monster Hunter Amiibo and the incredibly popular indie character Shovel Knight. The door is open for other games to get in on the action. In fact, it's thanks to Amiibo that I got the final push to actually try Shovel Knight, which I was on the fence about. Knowing that if I like something, that there's a reasonably priced and decent quality figure is a great incentive for me to try something new. Compare, I adore Phantom Brave. It's one of my favorite games. So when I got the idea to look for a figure, I was disappointed, though not surprised, to see that there wasn't much available given it's a fairly niche game. And when I did find one, it was pretty fragile. Knowing Amiibo, that isn't nearly as much of a concern. It's great if you're a fan of a niche series without much representation. There's actually sentimental value here. Looking at the Smash line, these are some of the characters I grew up with: Link, Pikachu, Mario, Olimar, and Villager, and others I've come to know and love more recently: Corrin, Lucas, Ness, and beyond Smash, the Animal Crossing villagers, and the Inklings with the hundreds of hours spent splatting the competition. They even celebrate the past with things like the 8-bit series, and Zelda Amiibo for past games in the series. These are physical reminders of my love of Nintendo.
So now you know why I, and likely so many others, love these little guys so much, and why I'm now so poor. Please say a prayer for my wallet. As always, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, this is Hoodie Angel Brandon, signing out.